Advanced Computer and Network Concepts is a veteran and Black-owned all-service tech company dedicated to fulfilling mission-based contracts and using innovative technology to support the communities where we work and live. Over the past 15 years, we have partnered with top national corporations, federal agencies, and local businesses, consistently exceeding expectations and delivering impeccable service by maintaining supportive professional relationships. We are excited to be on the forefront of utilizing innovative technology to develop new software, mobile applications, and learning opportunities for our employees and community. This Tech Talk is one of several outreach and community initiatives of ACNC. To learn more about our organization, our research programs, or to become a member of the ACNC team, visit our website at acnc.solutions.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining our first Tech Talk. This is a new series that ACNC is starting, and we're really excited about it. I apologize for the choppiness of the video. We will make it available on our Facebook page at the end of the evening. So, anyone who wants to go back and take a look at it, it just kind of explains a little bit about our company and what we do. Um, so let me introduce myself. My name is Vicki Salters. I am the Chief Technology Officer at ACNC. Um, and uh, I just wanted to go over a couple of quick housekeeping things before I introduce our speaker for the evening. First, if you could put yourself on mute, except for when you're talking. That way, it just allows us to filter out background noises. Second of all, if you switch to gallery view, that's going to give you the best view of everyone while we're having our discussion. And third, if you want to ask a question or have a comment or anything, we ask that you raise your hand either on camera or the little virtual hand. If you're familiar with using Teams, in your toolbar, there should be a raise hand emoji. If you click that, you can raise your hand that way as well. You can also type questions, comments, whatever, into your chat box if you don't want to talk. Just a quick disclaimer, we are live streaming this to our YouTube page. So if you don't feel comfortable being live streamed, feel free to cut your camera off. But we like to see your faces. So if you're fine with it, we'd love to keep you on camera. Um, so let me go into introducing our speaker for the day. It is Larry Alexander. Now, I first met Larry when he entered our ACNC internship program back when he was still in high school. And it's just been a pleasure knowing him and watching him grow. He's one of those people that gets really, really excited about technology, and that's what we love to see, whether it is testing the integrity of our CEO's home network or coming up with a new video game. He is always looking for the latest and greatest technology and always has this hunger to learn. So I'm really, really excited to hear what he has to say about his latest passion, artificial intelligence. So I'll turn it over to you, Larry.
And I would agree with you. Also to note, ChatGPT is one of the main things that's used in things like Replica or pretty much any other AI based application that you see out there. Um, who else? Who else has a question or would like to try to take their hand at answering this question? There's no right or wrong necessarily. It's more about what do you think.
Can you repeat the question for those on YouTube
Yes.
who couldn't hear initially?
Yes, the question is: does anyone think machines have passed the Turing test in the past 20 years?
Can you review what the Turing test is?
The Turing test is the ability for a machine with artificial intelligence to fully past with mimicking human-like behavior within a conversation, up to the point it makes the observer forget that they are speaking to a bot and begin to think that they are speaking to a human.
I have tried Replica, and I don't, looking at a bot, I don't necessarily think that I am talking to a person, but I do, after having interacted with it for a little bit, if I couldn't see the avatar, I think I would probably think it's a person.
That's fair. That's fair. At one point in time, when Google revealed their ability to have an AI call a store, set up an appointment for the user, and have a full on conversation, even to a point where it grabbed nuanced things like give me a second, hold on, or even parts when someone will pause for a really long time. People complained about that, of course, and they ended up shutting that down. For now, at least. For now. But to keep things going, here's the next question. What would you need, you personally, what would you need to see to say that a machine has consciousness? What would make you feel like this machine is almost as important as a real life child or a real life adult? And for me, I would say that I would need to see a machine be able to complete multiple tasks just like a human, up to the point. In truth, for me, I don't believe it. I don't believe that a machine will ever be able to trick me into thinking that it has some type of state of consciousness. Vicky, I see that your hand is up.
So for me, it would have to make me forget that it was a machine. So if it was a humanoid, it would have to look and move and adapt like a human. If it were a phone voice, like some of these apps that are out now, I would have to be able to continuously carry on conversations. Typically, when I have conversations, I jump all over the place. It would have to feel like I was really having that interaction, confusion, sense of humor, things that can't necessarily be mimicked, understanding undertones in my sarcasm, things like that. I don't know if I could truly forget that it was a machine, but I might start to question its consciousness.
So here's the thing about the Turing test and the idea of a machine is alive. For me personally, I think that a machine can easily trick a person, especially if someone isn't used to it at all. And along with tricking a person, if you combine that with an actual person behind the AI, it opens up a possibility to a lot of things. Which is a beautiful segue to our next segment, which is history of AI. We've talked about Alan Turing, but now we're going to try to get a little bit deeper. You see, AI hasn't always progressed at the pace we've seen in recent years, mainly the past 3 years. There was a period known as the AI winter when advancements were very, very slow and outcomes were mediocre and funding just was not happening. However, with time, machine learning, pretty much the underlying foundation for artificial intelligence, has gradually improved, becoming more prevalent across various mediums. For instance, machine learning powers virtual assistants on your phone. Now, they're not really AI the way that we would want an AI or something like ChatGPT or Bing Chat, but they're pretty useful in their own right. It also powers cameras when your camera recognizes another person's face. What else is there? As well as texting. Not texting, but predictive text on phones. It exemplifies machine learning. While tools like Bing Chat showcases AI's ability to present information in diverse should be used. What are some critical places where you would feel totally uncomfortable if AI was, not involved in some way? And I also went ahead and placed that question in the chat. And while you all think about that, I want to read a few things off of the YouTube chat. Um, Deanne Little says the average person can definitely be tricked by AI pretty easily. Yes, yes, yes. That is 100% true. An average person can be tricked by just simple scammers as well. Vicky, Jen Archibald, I see that you says I've talked to some bots on the phone that do a very good imitation, but I can usually tell. It will be easier over just text. I agree with you. A lot easier to fool someone with just text. I almost got fooled recently by this new UPS text message that's going around, and it almost tricked me twice because I was waiting on an actual package. I see Vicky says that telemarketer bots have gotten really good at tricking people. I try to say something totally out of left field just to see if they're real. I love that because I do the same thing when I get random messages off of definitely not email, just no. When I get random messages off Facebook Messenger or Instagram, I always type in test. And they be like, what? I'm like, just making sure you real. Just making sure you real. Right? But now because things are getting more and more deeper, I tend to have to give it like a nice chunk of wording. I see Jen Archibald also said I can't think of anywhere I would be uncomfortable to not have AI involved. Plenty of areas where I'd be uncomfortable have AI involved. And I love that you said that. Wendy, I see that your hand is up.
I was thinking about the comment that Jen made about AI over the phone, being able to tell. I recently listened to, I guess everybody at this point has heard Beyonce's Texas Hold'em song, right? Well, so I was listening to, well, most people might have heard it by now, because it's been released all over social media and stuff, her Texas Hold'em song. Well, I saw a video where Rihanna was singing that song, and I totally thought it was Rihanna singing the song, but they had used samples of her voice from just her collection of what's available online and created. It was amazing to me because they created it sounded seamless. It sounded correct. It was the right tune. It was the right words. And I don't know if she had all these words in other songs, but I think that the technology when it comes to sound has really advanced recently. And I also agree with Jen with part of her statement. There are a lot of places where I know I would feel uncomfortable having AI take over. And there are very few places I can think of where if the AI from it disappeared, I would be uncomfortable. I am one of the people, I'm still uncomfortable with Alexa. There's no Alexa in my house. I don't trust her. And so I totally get what Jen is saying there. There's some places where I would feel really uncomfortable with AI, more so than places where I would feel uncomfortable, not having AI there. I appreciate the advances from MapQuest days, but yeah, let's pick up here.
Vicky, I see you got something to add as well.
So I know that AI is used a lot in the defense community for analyzing data. And in that instance, I would probably be a little uncomfortable if it were 100% manual, because there's so much data and it's so easy for a person or a couple of people to miss something. And I go back to 9/11. I don't know how much of that information is general knowledge, but it's generally known that the information to stop it was available. It just wasn't aggregated. And it was not able to be aggregated in enough time to have stopped it. So if we had, since then we've gotten a lot more of these big data sets being analyzed by AI before going to actual human eyes. And that's been able to catch a lot of things in a shorter amount of time. that I don't think we would have been able to catch. And so, in that respect, I think that, you know, it's definitely an advancement to have that AI technology in there. Um, and then I also think that, there are other places where it could be really useful, like simulations and things like that. Uh, like, for instance, driver's ed, if you have kids in front of these simulations and have AI technology to throw in scenarios that you might not get every day on a driving for 2 or 3 miles on the highway, such as a car darting out in front of you, or a car slamming on brakes, or an obstacle in the road suddenly popping up. If you use AI technology for simulating those sorts of things and getting that real-time reaction, then it allows them to experience and react without the danger. So I think it could be useful in a lot of scenarios, but you're right, it's scary to use in a lot of places too.
Me personally, it makes it easier for me to get my license. I'm all for it. No, I'm just kidding. But on a serious note, uh, in terms of video gaming, simulation based games are some like the biggest games, like truck driving simulator, farming simulator, The Sims, which is literally the simulator, and so on and so forth. Um, but Jen, you said something that I really liked, which actually brings us to our next question, which is where are some places AI shouldn't be used? No cut cards. For me, I don't want AI to have the ability to execute me or have the ability to pass complete judgment upon me without a human in some way being involved. Wendy, I see that your hand is up.
Yes, I raised my hand. Someone in the chat asked if you could explain what a transformer is. On YouTube, someone asked to explain what a transformer is. I'm not sure how it relates to. I only know transformers.
I'm not seeing that question. I'm not sure what they're referring to specifically. Um, so to that, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I see Jen also said that AI is being used by DoD in a lot of places more every day, including targeting, but there are laws and regulations preventing it from actually pulling a trigger. CW says less concerned about the conscious or lack thereof of AI than about the lack of consciousness of the human owners and developers. I love that. I love that. I love that. That's a snap. But our next question is, what do you all think AI can't do? We've seen a lot of different things that AI can do, and I'm going to name off a few things. If you wanted to fake someone's voice, there's an AI called Whisper for that. Or if you wanted to mimic another voice, you will start to see, if you're someone that's on social media a lot, you will start to see multiple meme videos of out there that are going to be remixing the wording for some of your favorite shows. Just earlier today, for my favorite childhood show, Naruto, they completely changed all the wording out, but still had pretty close to the same voice as the voice actors. But based on what they were saying, it was obviously fake. It was obviously fake. But at the current moment, if you wanted to make a video, there's an AI called Sora for that. It's not available for everyone, but it is out. And just for general information and web searching, you now have Bing and Dolly that creates images for you. Which gives us to our next segment of ethics and practicality. Currently, the world is very critical of AI, and how it's being integrated into a lot of things in our society, such as we talked about earlier. So let's take a moment to talk about the ethics and practicality of AI. Some of the most important parts of our infrastructure utilizes AI and machine learning, such as the gas and electric management, transportation, and even the healthcare system. Beyond handling vast data sets and complex tasks, AI can enhance productivity, from assisting with spreadsheets to adding into creative endeavors like writing a book. AI can streamline processes and offer valuable insights. Personally, I find AI's ability to explain complex and confusing topics to me as if I was, a young kid or anyone else. It can enhance your personal productivity by a lot, especially for children or individuals who are just struggling, as I said, to grasp challenging areas. Pretty much anyone can utilize AI to improve their work or help out with a hobby. But where does the ethics come into place? Expanding on the ethics and practicality of AI, it's crucial to navigate the fine line between innovation and ethical concerns. For instance, AI in healthcare can predict diseases, but raises a lot of privacy issues. In education, personalized learning through AI must balance with equitable access. Everyone has to be able to get to it. As an example, think about when regular computers stopped being a thing and all schools began to start using streaming computers that were only able to be used through the internet. The creative industries such as movies, TV shows, and general art are facing copyright challenges with AI and generated content. And if you really want to see a really, really good example of a AI that does not care about copyrighted content, that would be, I believe it is called Midjourney. That was the AI that was typically used to show that photo of the Pope in a puffer coat. That is where that originally came from. Or typically when you see other things that are very, very close to their original look. You can check out OpenAI's Sora, an AI that's able, as I said earlier, to create pretty close to lifelike video based on text. Now, this isn't available to the public yet. This is probably going to be something that's going to be really, really focused on individuals who are in larger, bigger, productions and things like that. Or you could just release it for like $10 a month, just as it did with ChatGPT. It's so good. It's so good that Tyler Perry pressed pause on their upcoming studio being built, quoting, "Being told that I can do all these things is one thing, but actually seeing the capabilities, it was mind-blowing." Politically, AI can influence elections, requiring transparency and fairness. Ethical AI usage necessitates guidelines like the AI Bill of Rights, emphasizing privacy, accountability, and safety, ensuring AI benefits. Yes, ensuring AI benefits society without compromising individual rights or employment, which is something that's people are really, really, really worried and concerned about. Just this year, New Hampshire was bombarded with a multitude of robocalls that was utilizing something like Whisper that mimics the user's voice based on this given data. The callers decided to use this to tell voters in the voice of President Joe Biden to not come out to a vote. AI ethics are still being created as well as explored continuously, and governments are beginning to get serious with regulations around it becoming more apparent. You can check out the AI Bill of Rights that are being outlined and updated so that you can stay updated on the current information with it. And this isn't something where only the government has been focusing on it. Industry leaders and other people have also been coming in to make it even stronger. Which gives us our next question. How can a creator, designer, artist, or whatever, protect their copyright should an AI be capable of generating something they originated? For me, something that I was telling a few people earlier is that the best way that you could do this would be how you handle anything that you don't have fully protected, which is to keep documentation, make sure your information is secured, and make sure that you are able to point to what is yours at all times. Wendy, I see that your hand is up.
I was wondering, so I've seen on some websites or documents where, and I see this a lot with bank documents as well, where you can't cut and paste, like that feature is disabled. Is there a way, or has it been talked about being able to do that with um, images for when it comes to AI, recreating images so that, you know what I mean, where stuff can be blocked sometimes, but you
So,
can't cut and paste it?
so the way that generative AI for images works is that it goes out and, well, typically it's fed the data. It's fed a bunch of art, whether that be historical or just stuff off of Facebook or something like that. And it's using this data, it pretty much tries to, recognize and understand. With AI getting more smarter, and now can understand certain things. So as an example, if you was to give a picture to Bing and you was like, "Hey, explain what you see," it'd explain the entire environment. But in order to keep AI from just reading and ingesting people's artwork, some people have taken to the same thing they did when it came to NFTs being able to simply being screenshot it, and people are putting coding inside of their images where the AI will be able to recognize, and essentially it would screw with the AI to the point that it doesn't recognize what's being shown, even if we can look at it and see it just as normal. Uh,
I think I don't know his name. He's in YouTube on YouTube, but this is a good point. He said, "Will handmade products and services become a premium for consumers since stuff can be generated through AI?" I think that would be
well,
interesting.
so it's me. If you're still watching, yes, 100 times yes. A good example of that is when everything was being manufactured and coming from China and India and every other country except from America. When you look at websites like Etsy, that's a great example of where those people are going to, or where that community of people who want handmade stuff is from. And honestly, if you want something that's handmade, it's a lot better than just going to an AI, because talking with a human, an actual individual, will always be on an entirely different level for getting what you want across. So whether that's you having a custom deck of cards, or you having a custom skin wrap for your car or something like that. Etsy and communities where people really value handmade work is going to skyrocket when everything becomes easy to fabricate. And I mean that for physical and just for digital. Ryan, I see that you had your hand up for a moment. Go ahead.
Yes. I did want to make note. You did mention that some artists were doing this thing called data poisoning. There's a project called Nightshade
Yes.
to help to add some support and just keep that integrity in the artistic community. It also another way is that certain artists have begun using their own LLMs so that their art, they can even do generative AI, but based off of their own style, and looking into basically because they want to keep it away from the internet bugs that are stealing their, well, you can call it stealing their art, using their art to learn how to mimic it, basically. So if they can keep their art, off of those, and then they can still get the benefits of AI and its generative aspects using their own style when they create their own large language library and everything like that. So that is one way that is going on. I do think it will still, human art is still going to be a premium. I think it is going to be, I think it's still going to be very valuable because when we start some things like art, like texture and paintings and stuff like that, the actual artist's brushstroke will still always be unique to the artist that makes it. So I think that's always going to be important.
I agree. Thank you for mentioning data poisoning. I saw that CW said something I thought was really great. Too many people Oh, I see. Jen also said that medical decisions, including insurance, cover legal sentencing, and trigger pulling. Yeah, too many people. The most important aspect of Chat GPT is its ability to support get rich schemes, except uh, support get rich schemes who care about nothing except having more money. And something I want to say in response to that is 100% yes. And honestly, that is one of the ways that I try to tell people this is how you should use AI. If you have an idea that you've been struggling with, or a scenario for type of script in your head or something like that, go ahead and get on there, and fully flush that thing completely out. It will be extremely rewarding. If you are somebody that want to trade and you want to really learn about how to make a trading bot, talking to a bot is a great place to start at, along with some YouTube videos here and there. Um, I see Jen says that the FTC released new regulations a week later. I've seen the federal government move so fast. Yes, they have been. I've seen some authors start including author notes saying their work was not AI generated and or was not to be used to train AI. Which brings me back to what Ryan was saying about people data poisoning their stuff. What was it? I was in this art Reddit, and someone posted this really, really dope um, George R. R. Martin type of vibe of like a medieval time with like clouds and everything like that. And it was really, really nice. It was really cool and really beautiful. And the admins on there recently has said that if we catch AI generated content on the site, on the Reddit, then we're going to take it down, immediately. And this individual who said that I worked on this for about 8 months plus, me and a couple other people, that was working with me. And their response to that individual was that, well, you need to find a new art style because AI can do what you can do 5 to 10 times better and faster. And I was looking like, that is not true whatsoever. A human is always going to be a lot more valuable in terms of creativity than a bot. CW also says that AI mimics what others have done. It does not create original content, just new ways of aggravating existing ideas. Its output is not original. It is also voluminous, creating unfair competition for artists, etc. I agree. I 100% agree, and I feel like when it comes to generative imagery and things like that, people such as Adobe have done a really, really great job of us using it to assist rather than replace in any sort of way, by allowing the designers to have really fine-tuning controls over specific parts. But yes, it does not really create anything original. Can it really be considered art? That's a good. I think it should be used as artistical. Yes. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Are any of you worried of falling victim to scammers using AI? I know I talked about the President Joe Biden situation with the AI voice telling people not to go out and vote, and that is an example of how maybe someone can even re-engineer that to get you to give you a cash out and give people some money or something. Vicky, I see that your hand is up virtually. Let's go ahead and spotlight you.
So yes, I am worried about getting scammed by scammers, and I'm pretty paranoid. So even when I'm pretty sure I'm talking to a real human, I say random things or try to say something to intentionally elicit an off reaction or something to just give me peace of mind. And it's really scary now because even on something like FaceTime, you can be scammed. So it's not just trying to censor a voice. Now you can actually duplicate images to make it look like a real person. I don't remember the name of the software, but a friend of mine has a really good friend who has this entire life on Instagram, including what you think is live video, but she's completely fake. She's not a real person at all. All of her pictures are fake. All of her videos are fake. She's talking to people and responding to people, and it's all fake. And that's creepy. So, I haven't experienced that personally yet, I hope, but it's definitely something that makes me paranoid.
And for good reason. You definitely should be paranoid about it. You have no idea how creative and imaginative people are, and with a tool like this, it can be super villains. Wendy, I see that your hand is up. Let's go for you.
I agree with what Vicky said. I agree with what Vicky said. I remember when you just had to worry about prank calls, and now the whole imagery, it's beyond emails. And I did see an article where there was a Russian model. Now it's disclaimed that she's fake, but she's a whole Russian model who takes pictures. She looks like a person, but that whole online life where it's fake, it's not her, and people know it and they feed into it. So it's just, I feel like next 10 years, somebody could be walking down the street and we don't know if they're a bot or not. But it seems like as many ways as there is to communicate is as many ways that you can be scammed.
Yes. I'm not a hacker, but if I was, a useful thing that I would use on individuals would be social engineering. So as an example, let's say if I wanted to get your bank account information, not saying I've done this, but a really, really, really easy way to do that is to fake as if I am your bank, sending you an alert or a message saying, hey, something is happening with your account. You'll be receiving an email and a phone call within maybe 15 to 20 minutes. A scammer wouldn't necessarily wait that long, but it would give me time to fully flush out everything else I want to do. Along with that, I can go ahead and use an AI like Whisper AI, hook it up to a voice over IP, which is basically just calling you over the internet. And I could, even if I have to do it live, I could just use a generative video. I could do it on here, but that'll mess up my whole setup. And I could essentially make you believe by using the information that the AI chatbot has. I'll also add that into the equation, and I'll have that create some pretty standard sounding situations where you would end up getting out your information. Before, I would have to just create all that on my own, do everything on my own, but the AI can take care of a lot of good stuff. But one thing to know about AI is simply that it's never going to sound perfect. It's never going to sound even correct, really. You're always going to hear a little bit of a robotic voice. It's up until the point that we no longer can, really distinguish that. Then it becomes more of the Turing test. Does this machine make me think that it's a human? And let me see if anyone else has anything. For every person, this is by C. Oh, Vicky first. The fact that the term deep fake even exists because regular fake isn't enough, that creeps me out. People aren't even freaked out as much about deep fakes now. They just expect them to be. Excuse me. I see that CW says for every person using AI for legitimate purposes, there are probably 10 using it with ill intent. 100%. 100%. There's already situations where people are creating the AI that doesn't really need your input for things. You can't do this with something like ChatGPT because they will limit you. It's also extremely expensive. But this AI can pretty much do way more than just, web crawling or things like that. It can hack by giving it specific commands, as well as maybe providing it with some Python code. It could, the possibilities are really endless. But I see that Vicky's hand is up. Let me go ahead and bring you to the front row.
So I just thought about the question you asked us towards the beginning of the Tech Talk again. What would make us believe that a machine was conscious? And then I look at, I think it was Jen's comment. I'm not sure if it was Jen or not, but saying that nothing's original. It's just an aggregation of copies of other people's work. So if an AI were able to generate something truly original, then would that be proof of its consciousness?
I wouldn't say so. But I like the idea of at times creativity can come from dreams or from imaginative places. If you were able to essentially allow an AI to be imaginative, and I say that in a sense, if an AI was able to dream in some sense or something wild like that, maybe they can form some original things. But overall, pretty much up until we get to a point where we really just see AIs as just secondary to pretty much everything else, like we look at our phones. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. So, I'm going to segue into the next question, which is, does the benefits of AI eliminate your worries? And based on our conversation so far, I can tell no one in this chat feels that way at all. So I'll go to the next one. Have any of you used AI personally to help with work, school, or anything else, such as help out a nephew, help out a grandchild, or anything like that? Have you tried to use AI to see how it can be beneficial for you? And for me, it's 100% yes. I use AI for coding every single day. I use the AI made by GitHub called Copilot that pretty much analyzes everything that I'm typing and recommends things. So as I go on, I see Rhonda has their hand up. Let me go ahead and get you to the front.
Thank you, Larry. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. So, yeah, I teach statistics in a doctoral program, and this semester I am teaching my students to analyze quantitative data using SPSS and Julius AI, and it has been a game changer because Julius AI shows them things. It shows us things that we can't see in SPSS running data. So I use it for every class period with my doc students.
It's a really really great tool, and when you're actually using it, I feel like it really eliminates the whole stigma of this thing is going to take what I'm able to do, because at the current moment you can't do everything that I can do, but you can really really improve my performance on a few other things. And thank you for sharing with that. Wendy asks, is it even possible for something built on data? Oh no, we asked that. Sorry. I see that you have your hand up though. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was interested in what Rhonda just said. So is it that you said it sees things that you can't see? Is it because it does it faster, or because how does it see stuff that you can't see?
It tells me things that I don't know. Like if I have a data sheet and I don't know what statistical analysis to run on it, like SPSS is not going to tell me. I have to go look it up somewhere else, a book or YouTube. But I can take the data sheet and put it into Julius AI, and it'll tell me what statistical test to run. It'll tell me what the output means. It'll tell me what every point in the output sheet means. SPSS, it doesn't do that for me.
Has it ever been wrong? Do you always trust its response, or do you? I'm asking because I'm a writer, and I know sometimes when people send me stuff that they've written, I can tell that it was ChatGPT or that I don't really trust it. Do you always trust its results? And
So that's one of the questions that I ask my students. So I have them run the analyses in SPSS, run it in Julius AI, and then I have them compare to see which one they trust more. And we have found instances where like two different people have used the same spreadsheet, asked the same question, and Julius AI has given us different results. whereas SPSS has been consistent. But sometimes the results are the same. So I think that instead of thinking about, and I hope more professors and educators start to look at AI favorably instead of trying to push AI out of the education system because it's not going anywhere. But I think that we should think more about, instead of either or, kind of a and in both situation where we use artificial intelligence to support and complement the work that we do.
Thank you.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. All this AI love going around. All right. Time is of the essence, everybody, and I'm going to begin to close you all out. And to close out, I want to say AI is a powerful force and will continue to become more powerful. Just as we have medicine that targets specific parts of the body, we will soon have technology that we will soon have technology that will target specific parts of the body, whether that's nanobots traveling through your blood and repairing damaged cells. Neural enhancing pills will become neural enhancing technology. Elon Musk and others are already working on what's next in terms of BCIs, brain computing interfaces. And with things such as the idea of restoring vision by beaming the video feed to the brain, that's amazing. Or treating things like epilepsy, it's beautiful. Or if you're like me, you just want to have the ability to control computers with your mind. All right, don't judge me. The ultimate idea I see AI is combining with the brain to possibly improve memory, slow down brain degradation, and process information better than you did before. A good amount of jobs will be using AI, and having their staff utilize it as well, such as Robin mentioned earlier. As Rhonda mentioned earlier. As time progresses, so will AI and the application we see it used in, but that doesn't mean it will be all good. New kinds of hackers will emerge, as well as attacks. People may rely on it too much, and it may even be the best tool in war, as we spoke about earlier with the Department of Defense. The future of AI is vast, overall, and exciting, and terrifying. Let's not forget, but only the future versions of us will know for sure if AI is going to be here to stay or if AI is going to be here to destroy it. And again, my name is Larry Alexander. I want to thank you all for coming, and I hope you all enjoyed the Tech Talk. But before you leave, before you hit that button, subscribe to everyone on YouTube. But also, I want to leave you all with a final question. And you can go ahead and answer. You don't have to answer this now. You can answer this on our social media, whether that be Instagram or Facebook. And what areas or roles do you envision AI potentially replacing humans completely? And with that, I want to say goodbye, everybody. And thank you all for coming to ACNC.